Welcome back to Momarchy, the podcast where we try to make sense of motherhood, politics, and whatever fresh chaos the universe is serving this week. And today's episode is our final solo episode of the year, which is really crazy. And also, I do not know how it is mid-December already.
I know. It is really nuts. Like 3 weeks ago, there was no snow, and now I have 3 feet of snow that I'm looking at, like icicles coming down from my roof. And it's nuts. I can't believe 2026 is like just around the corner, which is also a little bit scary
It is.
for a lot of reasons. It's an election year.
Yeah, how can we put it off a little bit longer? How many or what holiday movies are you watching?
I know. Well, I know we just had Luke and Hig on, and Luke talked a little bit about Hallmark. I I honestly, I just said this to Dylan last night. I'm like, I feel like I've been such a bad Christmas movie watcher this year because I just keep falling asleep every time. I just I fall asleep. Like, it took us 3 nights to finish one Netflix movie, and at that point, I'm like, "I'm done. I get the gist. I'll read the spoilers." So, I just need to do some, like, classics, like Miracle on 34th Street, The Santa Claus, back to the basics.
I think is it The Spirit of Christmas? It's some thing where the Christmas ghost, but the Christmas ghost is very handsome, and only this woman who moved into a house can see him. I don't know, but I love it. I love watching it each year. It's perfect.
You should send me the link. That sounds great. I feel like every year I have my normal movies, and then every year I also, like, try to do a Hallmark or like we talked about Hot Frosty, like that was an interesting one. I think there's a few that are coming out, but yeah, I mean, you're obviously Jewish, and I feel like there should be more, like, Hanukkah Hallmark movies. Like, there could be a plot around that.
There could be a lot of plots. We kind of got into this with Luke and Haig, and they've attempted it. The networks have attempted it, but they've done overall pretty poorly. I forget which one it was, but they tried to make a scene of like playing dreidel really fun and like cool, and as if every kid will be like, "Oh, shoot, I wish I did that with my family," but it was, like, so boring, and it was just, like, 5 minutes of this spinning top and, like, people exchanging little, like, gold coins. So, there are so many phenomenal Jewish writers that can come together and come up with something just that knocks it out of the park.
I'm ready for it. I'm very ready for it. So, I think this is our 2nd episode on YouTube and Spotify video or whatever it's called, and
And the first one that we knew was gonna be on YouTube.
so you'll see if you're watching, we're attempting to put together more professional operations still in my hallway, have a plant in the background, big lights. Yeah, Tanya, you have, like, figured out your makeup routine. Thank you, ChatGPT, for camera.
Yeah, if you just go into ChatGPT for whatever occasion you need and you type in, "What are some makeup tips?" It'll walk you through the process.
So impressed.
And you can, say, "I really need you to be, like, kind and gentle," or just, like, "Tell it to me straight." Like,
What did it say to you when you're like, "I'm recording a podcast.
well,
What do
every
I"
time it was like poor ChatGPT kept on being like, "Your eyebrows are great naturally, but try these couple of things." And then I would ask again, and it'd be like, still not quite there." So I don't know. I'm either gonna get better at it or care much less. And I feel like it's gonna be the latter, but we'll see where this journey takes us.
As you know, I it was a little bit of a struggle to set up my operation. I'm calling my podcast operation in my house today that all I managed was some mascara. No blush. I look pale as a ghost. That is what it is. We are still working moms. We're just trying to make it work. I think, yeah, I'm wearing a flannel. So that's that's as far as I could get today.
Yeah, this top is fancier than my pants, if you can believe it. So
Oh my God. We're trying.
we are trying. And with that, we're trying a lot of exciting new things. We wanted to, you all have probably noticed by now that we have ads on our show. We're so excited about this because of the amount of listeners that we have had and the popularity. We are now able to have ads to help to mitigate costs for Sarah and I. this podcast. So,
It is not a hobby. We're paying for this
no,
as a reminder.
one day if it's our one day we'll let you know if things are going real well, but we consider it very good right now that we're able even to have this opportunity. So, thank you for bearing with us and getting us to this point. And hi to Acast, hi to Sweetfish, our new
Yeah, our new
team.
team. Woo! It's a
We
lot of
love
changes.
you. Maybe that
We
was too far.
yeah, there's been so many changes. So we're so excited to be a part of the ACAST team. Shout out to ACAST for believing in us this whole time. We were like, it just will take one. And they truly did believe in us. So thank you to the ACAST team. And if you don't like ads, you can just skip through them. We don't have a premium subscription yet for the pod. That might come later, but just yeah, just skip through them if you want, but also if you purchase something, thank you. You are helping us maintain Momarchy for the future. But also, yeah, Sweetfish. I know we just switched over production companies. Thank you, Sweetfish. They've been fantastic so far. So they're just making us look good.
Here we go. We're getting into it now. We gave our own updates. Now we're going into political updates. This isn't included in here, but goes along kind of with our holiday theme of my husband Jason just sent me a news article where I guess Trump told was he in Pennsylvania and he was talking to steelworkers in Pennsylvania telling them to buy their children less gifts for the holidays. So that is
What a nice holiday message from our president. Costs are lower than ever before, but I mean, that's a lie, but also buy less because you can't afford as much because I have created issues with tariffs. Anyway, I digress.
So I just wanted to address it and we can get into our other things because there's so many outrageous things that are happening right now.
Wow. I did not see that Trump thing because it probably happened today, but that's so offensive on so many levels. Also, yeah, I don't know really what to say outside of like, is anyone surprised? I'm not.
No, no. If you are, that is, let us know. Astonishing. And in the world of not surprising, if people didn't see the Erika Kirk interview where she equated husbands with the government and how women that are living in the city, specifically like New York City and in Manhattan, I think she said,
Uh-huh.
depend on the government like they should depend on husbands and it holds them back from having families. If this doesn't sound like it's making sense, it's because it doesn't. Like, I don't think that I'm making it less confusing here. These are essentially her words.
Yeah, she is a grieving widow. That is incredibly sad, right? We've talked about this. That's incredibly sad. No one should go through what she has gone through and is still going through. But this is a person who has said her entire life as a USA Miss USA or whatever she was, that women are put on this planet to give birth, to have babies, give birth, and stay at home. Now she is a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. She took over for Charlie when he died, so she is the new CEO and president of the board, I think. And now she's going around in her fucking pantsuit, like that whole clip of her.
What I don't want to have happen is women, young women in the city, look to the government as a solution to put off having a family or a marriage because you're relying on the government to support you.
And she's saying, "Oh, women voted for Mom Donnie because they rely on the government like like people should rely or like women should rely on their husbands," which is so offensive on so many levels. It's like, one, you're super hypocritical. Two, you're wearing a fucking pantsuit being interviewed by a MSNBC reporter on national news. And C, like, what?
I don't know, especially when she started it out by saying, I am coming at this as a female voter. Like, that terminology is so weird. That was so weird. It was like somebody told her, like, "You've gotta put something in there to say that, like, you are a female voter," and she's like, "Got it, female voter," and then remembered to say it and went off on this absolutely bizarre case. Yeah.
The reason I think she said this is because Republicans have this thing about smaller government, right? Like that our government is bloated. We provide too many quote unquote handouts to people. And she, I'm assuming, was saying all this coming from the lens of like, because the government is supplying X, Y, and Z handouts, people are less likely to go get a husband, which is also implying that women don't work and cannot like take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Insane. The other thing that's been in the news quite a bit, and I don't think will be slowing down since we have 3 more years of the Trump presidency, is Trump's pardons. These are wild.
They are sweeping and wild. They're bad. Like, these are really, really bad people. For example, the president of Honduras, who is serving a 45-year sentence after a 2024 conviction for drug trafficking and weapons charges, was freed and pardoned. So he's out there.
I thought the Republican Party was supposed to be the party to like keep us safe, the party of public safety. I mean, again, I'm not saying I agree with this, but this is how they message themselves. And now Trump has been pardoning for the last year. I mean, he's pardoned so many people. He's pardoned Henry, I'm going to butcher his name, Henry Cooler and his wife, Imelda. And this was a full and unconditional pardon. He was a Texas Democratic congressman, and they had faced federal charges of bribery, money laundering, and conspiracy. Like, again, make that make sense. He's going around with talking about ICE and recruiting people for ICE because, God forbid, we got to get people off the streets that aren't citizens. But he's going around and pardoning people that have like been involved in these like horrific crimes. It's crazy.
It is rewriting history, and much like the Epstein stuff, trying to make it seem like, oh, this stuff wasn't that big of a deal. Like, he pardoned 1,500 people in connection with the January 6th riot. And that is like, on each side of the aisle, people more so on one side of the aisle than the other have come out and say, like, that was an attack on our democracy and on our capital. And like, these people that went and destroyed this symbol of democracy, and quite honestly, like, were out for blood. Like, they were very, very violent. People died that day.
Police officers, like,
Police officers died, and the goal was
awful.
to get to the chambers and to get to these members that were voting to accept the results of the election. And so, you know, just that pardon happened at the beginning of the year. We're just capping it off with this one. It's just not going to get better, and I hope that we aren't desensitized to it as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, this is a controversial opinion, but people were outraged, specifically Trump and Republicans, when Biden pardoned his son, Hunter,
Oh, yeah.
which, Tanya, curious your thoughts on that. But we're going to be so outraged that Hunter Biden was pardoned, but we don't care about drug traffickers?
Yeah. No, I don't. I honestly need to understand the Hunter Biden stuff more than I do to be able to say, like, whether or not that was a reach or like an abuse of power in President Biden's position. But at least I'm not just saying a blanket, like, that's fine. Like, everybody else that supports Trump and is like not questioning these pardons at all. And they're blowing up these ships like off the coast of Venezuela and saying that it's because of drug trafficking. And like, you're make it make sense. It just does not.
Oh, one other thing, Tanya, that you reminded me of, the ballroom architect.
Ballroom architect for the Trump ballroom at the White House.
The Golden Ballroom, the 90,000 square foot ballroom.
One of the only stipulations was that it would not be bigger than the White House, and that no portion of the White House would be demolished for this. So obviously that is not the case. And this is something where my dad is actually the one who was talking to me about this. I think that it's set to be like 4 times the size of the actual White House at this point. And so the architect stepped away. The administration's trying to say like, oh no, he's a very integral part of our team still. He's a consultant, but like, this man, guess, had a moment of sanity where he didn't want that kind of monstrosity there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want that on my resume either, so I don't fault him. I'm sure he'll find work in other places, but yeah, those are your fun, wild, never boring political updates. So today is our year in review where we'll break down some big wins, some WTF moments. We're also going to be trying to get into the holiday spirit. This episode is going to be dropping a few days before Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, we are a few days away from Hanukkah. We're going to do an Ask a Millennial Mom segment holiday edition. Very excited about that. And we're going to talk about some of our holiday traditions and talk about some of our hot takes because there is no shortage of hot takes during any holiday, in my opinion.
I was just going to say that if you have anything that you'd like to add, you should email us momarchypodcast@gmail.com. So momarchypodcast@gmail.com. And we'd love to know to get your hot takes too.
So grab your sparkling wine, your Olipop, your eggnog latte. Tanya, by the way, they do have their eggnog lattes now at Starbucks. I know you had said that you liked those. They came out on December 2nd. This is not an ad.
But it could be.
But it could be. And let's get into it.
All right. So for our year, we know that we technically launched in August, but honestly, we've been thinking about this for about a year at this point, and we're going to debrief some big wins and big WTF moments. So let's go. Big win. Obviously, launching this podcast was huge for us. Thank you so much to our families for so much support. There's thousands of people that are listening. We always question whether or not that's true or if the hosting platform was broken. Um, and we've just had really phenomenal guests.
That was a big win, was for sure launching the podcast. I still am not sure it's real, but it feels real. So I'm just going to go with it. My personal big win too was I launched my own business this year in addition to Momarchy podcast. So that was a big thing. That is my own political consulting firm, which has been same thing with any startup. Like I consider Momarchy a startup as well. Like there's just so many things to figure out and it's stressful and we're both working parents. So if you're a working parent or a parent, it's complicated and hard. But that was a big win for me. I'm still in growing pains of it all. But
That's huge, though. That's so big.
yes, it's happening.
Yeah. And I think, again, we had some really amazing guests that gave us a shot and came on here. It started out with friends and have continued with friends and even some family members, and just really remarkable, mostly women who have been reaching out, interested to be heard. So,
Who is your favorite? I'm curious.
okay, I'd say I learned the most, I think, from Kat DeShieldsman about her role in the gaming industry, gaming like video games, not gambling. And I think that she was just a delight to hang out with. Really inspired by Liz Hirsch-Naftali and her story. That was very powerful. And then Luke and Egg was just silly and wonderful. What what about you?
I think one of my favorites, and not because she was one of our first, but I think her story is so indicative of not just the political industry, but the industry, but like the world in general. But was Brittany Pedersen was one of our first interviews, and she flew across the country with her like 4-week old to vote against the big, bad, beautiful bill. So that was really inspiring. And also the fact that we've known Brittany for a while, but like she took a chance on us when we didn't have thousands of listeners. No one knew who Momarchy was yet. And we'll always shout out to Brittany. Thank you for believing in us. So I loved Brittany's. I also really, even though my camera wasn't working, my video wasn't working, I love Deb Holland. Very inspiring.
Oh my God. Yeah.
She is amazing and so like one of these people that I always wanted to meet, to talk to, and the fact that she wanted to be on the pod and talk to us about the environment and leaving the world a better place than we found it for our kids, for our families was amazing and something I at least wanted to get into. So love that.
I was gonna add one more.
Just all of that.
Just I was gonna add them all. Well, I was gonna say, Gigi, the editor at Axios, and a lot of that is because I think that when Gigi's a really great friend, and one, thank you for being on this, but we need to uplift those around us because we have some really successful, cool people in our lives. Everybody does. And we just kind of forget about that because we get lost in the moments of friendship and chaos of motherhood. But it was really cool personally to just hear more of her hot takes in this capacity.
Yeah, just riffing off that, I agree with like Luke and Hig, right? Like Luke and Hig are family members. They were our first men on the pod. We'll have more, but it was just like really fun. And I think exactly what I want to do more with Momarchy, where it was just like a conversation that people felt like we were kind of just all having a glass of wine and shooting the shit. And they had such an interesting perspective on parenthood and just like how they've been treated as two fathers and fatherhood dadarchy. Maybe we'll make it a thing. But yeah, we've had so many amazing guests. And last but not least, but Shannon Watts was like therapy for me. So there's that.
I'm reading her newest book right now that they sent us, and so far it's excellent. Recommend it.
Yeah.
Okay, our biggest WTF moments of the year. So, a wild thing that your kid do this year. Teddy or Claire do something real crazy.
Um, I did think about this one. Yes. I think it was probably at the beginning of the year. Teddy is 3.5. So at the time he was like not 3 yet. And he was going through the potty training situation at the beginning of the year. He's fully potty trained now. And he was so mad. I put him down for a nap on the weekend. And he literally pulled down his pants, pooped on a book, but the door was closed. So I kept hearing him say, I pooped on a book. I pooped, and like, this is why I love kids because they're so literal. He kept saying, Mom, I pooped on a book. And I was like, I'm not fucking coming upstairs. I didn't say fucking, but I was like, I'm not coming upstairs. Like, I'm putting my foot down because like so many times I'll just give in, I'll go in. And I shut the door. That's why he was so mad. Sure enough, I go in. He had literally opened the book, pulled his pants down, and shit on the book.
What
I
book
had to,
was it?
I don't remember. I threw it out because I was like,
Yeah,
I can't,
that makes
I
sense.
can't. And he's a toddler. Like it was a poop. It's a big poop.
That is a big WTF moment. I don't really have much to match it.
Well, you have been through your first year of parenthood.
I was gonna say, Shy was born, that was pretty wild, so that was neat. She and every day since has just been, such chaos.
One big WTF.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely I underestimated the amount that one living creature could spit up, and also just, like, I don't understand the amount of liquid that can go in and out of her body, but we're past a year, and
Congratulations.
she's thank you, she's doing better. So we're all over that phase of just everything smelling disgusting. That's the other thing. She has hypoallergenic formula, so everything in our house just smells like that, but regurgitated. And it's a very special kind of perfume.
Yeah. Well, I think getting through your first year with your first kid is a massive accomplishment. It's like WTF, but in a good way. Like you made it.
Yeah, I'd say I'd equate it to skiing, but I don't ski, but I can imagine that when you're skiing and you get down from a really intense hill that you're like, "Whoa."
I just did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like looking up. I think that's very fair. Well, there was a lot of political WTF moments. We have talked about them a lot on Momarchy. Do you have a most favorite or not favorite that
Was this even don't know if this was this year or not. Remember when TikTok was banned?
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
And they put up a statement saying that because of, like, something that Congress, I think, had passed that it was banned, and then they amended the statement to say something about, like, how when Trump's president, it'll be back.
It did come back.
Yeah, and then it came back, and it was this huge, like, "Thank you so much, President Trump." That to me was terrifying and really, really weird and just, like, ugh, it was gross. I remember reading the amended, like, President Trump statement on TikTok and thinking like, "Oh, this is like we live in 1984, but somehow much worse at this point."
I took a screenshot of it. I specifically remember, like, my TikTok going out, and I, like, couldn't open the app, and then I opened it again, and a message popped up, and it was like, "Thank you so much to the Trump administration." I hate the word oligarchy. It's one of the reasons we named Momarchy, because I don't think normal people understand what the oligarchy is, but this is an example of the oligarchy, like, tech billionaires, like, cozying up to Donald Trump was that was crazy. I should find the screenshot and send it to you because I remember being like, is this real life?" My political WTF moment, I would even say it was a moment. It was kind of a full circle for me when I was on vacation. I read Jake Tapper's book. Why am I forgetting the name? Anyway, I read Jake Tapper's new book, Original Sin, and it's all about Biden and, like, the last few years and, like, his decision to run for president and the campaign, and it was weird because it was, like, all things that we lived through, last literally last year, like, this time last year, but reliving it with, like, so much more context and investigative reporting from Jake Tapper, who I'm assuming is probably a Democrat and voted for Joe Biden, so it wasn't like I don't think he was writing the book to be, like, a hit piece.
It wasn't like by Tucker Carlson. Like,
Exactly. That's why it was, like, so damning to me where I'm like, Jake Tapper definitely voted for Joe Biden. Like, he's a very respected reporter, investigative journalist, and it was so horrific to me. Like, there's so much in there that I was like, "Whoa," like, Jill Biden, that made me really sad, but the whole Biden family. Anyway, that to me was like, yes, as messed up and as fucked up politics feels and is right now, I'm like, it didn't have to be this way. Maybe we could have actually had a chance if we had an open primary. But yeah, ego got in the way, I guess.
what a beautiful year to reflect on. So now that we have kind of debriefed that, we want to get into our Ask Millennial Mom segment. And so if you have answers to any of these questions that perhaps are better than ours or are different than ours, or you want to go into it, momarchypodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Or DM us on Instagram.
Instagram is probably way easier. It's also Momarchy Podcast. So look forward to seeing your DMs. All right. So, Sarah, part of Ask a Millennial Mom, do I really need to get my kids nannies/teachers gifts?
Oh, this is, Tanya, I would say this is a benefit for you just having a nanny because at our school, there's like multiple teachers in each classroom. My kids went through multiple classrooms this year. So I'm in this like dilemma. I'm like, okay, do I get her three teachers in her infant room gifts and then her three teachers in her 1-year-old classroom? And then for my son, it's the same thing. Like, I can't afford to get 12 gifts for people. So I'm literally trying to figure out what to do. I think I'm just going to make cookies for everyone and give them a gift card to a coffee shop because or some teachers don't get gifts because and then it's the director of the school and the deputy director and like it's just too many people and I already pay literally $4,500 a month to go to the school. Like now I don't know. It's a dilemma honestly because I love the teachers, but I'm also like I can't afford to do that many gifts.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that there are so many people involved in that.
I don't know what to do. Advice? Do you have advice for me? Because I'm struggling.
My advice from somebody who has one child and no kids in daycare or school is I say what we tell people who donate to campaigns is do whatever is meaningful to you. Like if you feel,
Such a diplomatic answer.
but also like I wouldn't stress super about it. I think if I got homemade cookies, I'd be so jazzed. That'd be delightful.
And like a little card from Teddy. Yeah, it's just so hard because it's like I feel really bad. I can't afford to do 10 or 12 gifts. What are you thinking for Patty?
We're definitely going to get her something. I'm not totally sure what yet, but I only have one person who watches my child. So it's not going to be as much of a, I guess, struggle financially and in terms of trying to figure out, who gets what or if somebody should get something. I can imagine, like, in my mind, it always goes to a, like, what if somebody told them that they made me cookies and they didn't get it? Yeah. And so I am sorry.
We're doing our best. This is why childcare should be we should have universal childcare. We should have more subsidies because it's like we're already paying so much, whether you have a nanny, whether you're in daycare, whether you do 2 days a week or 5, like to then add in this other element, and it's nothing against the teachers. Like teachers are amazing. It's like a money ask. Like it's like how I do not have the money. So then it's like, well, then you're just getting homemade cookies, and I hope what did you say? That is meaningful. That is meaningful to me, to the teachers. So, what do you do? I know it's, like, a little different for you with Hanukkah, and I've asked you this before, but, like, what do you do with multiple sets of parents? Like, are you trying to be controlling about, like, how many presents that Shy can get, and what does that look like?
I don't think that either my in-laws nor my parents are going to send, like, a ton of things, which we don't want. Like, I think that the stuff that they have sent is so sweet. My mother-in-law made Shy such a cute blanket that is just the softest thing in the world that she's obsessed with, and my mom just gave Shy, um, a little, like, bunny rabbit stuffed animal with her name on it, and so, like, there's these cute sentimental things, and yeah, right now she's 1, she will never know whether or not somebody got her gift or the amount of gifts. So that's just kind of where we're at, but what about you? It's more complicated as they get older.
Yeah, I also have there's so many. There's, like I have my dad and my stepmom. I have 4 siblings, 3 of them are step siblings, and then I have then my mom, and then my in-laws. So there's just, like, a lot of people, and I am so appreciative of everything that they do for our kids in terms of, like, sending gifts. But I'm very much like, "You do not need to send anything." Like, we also don't have room in our house at this point. Like, we do not have room. We do not have a playroom. I think for me, it's kind of how I feel about gift giving in general, where it is the thought that counts, and I think if that some people really love gift giving, and I think that's fine. I'm not telling people to, like, not buy things, but I am saying, like, don't worry about it. Like, they don't need anything.
That makes total sense. And so with Shy's birthday, which she just had in November, we got a lot more presents for her than we anticipated from a lot of nannies in the community. Actually, it was really, really sweet. But like, it was just so overwhelming. And so we've saved them and like re we've introduced new things to her every few days
That's so smart.
because then she gets super excited about it, and because she's one her she likes something more than anything else in the world for 5 minutes, and then the next day she'll toss it aside. So we've been trying to, like, milk that as long as possible.
That's really smart. Sometimes I do that where then I have this little chest in my closet and I, like, put stuff, maybe it's like a coloring book or a little stuffy or a book, like a reading book, and I'll, like, take them out when I say my kids, I really mean my son. He's 3.5. My daughter could care less. She's happy. She's so happy all the time. Well, I know you don't do Santa, so I guess this doesn't really apply to you, but is it okay to not do Santa? And I think it's fine. Do what you wanna do for your family.
Yeah. I think do what you wanna do with your family and also respect other families' decisions with that. Like, there's nothing wrong believing in Santa Claus. I believed in Santa Claus growing up and just knew that he didn't stop at my house and was totally fine with that. I think that it's, like, that little bit of Christmas magic, I think is so sweet and special, but if you don't do it, like, whatever, that's also totally fine. You don't need to make up the story about a big man that comes into your home.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same with this, like, what's your Millennial Mom approved, like, holiday budget? It's kind of like everyone is different. Do I think there's so much pressure, especially from parents and moms, like, there's all this pressure to, like, do all this stuff and, organize Christmas party, or whatever, holiday parties and meals and, like, I am definitely a culprit of, like, I love buying all the little trinkets and I do all the things. Our house is decorated quite a bit. But, like, if that doesn't work for you, like, that's okay. And there's also, like, I went to Habitat for Humanity to look for Christmas, the Restore to look for Christmas stuff. Like, there's cheaper options out there. And I think the last thing is I want any parents to feel, like, pressured. I know you have inherently the pressure to, like, do stuff for your kids for the holidays and take them to the zoo lights and all the things, but, like, your budget is your budget. Maybe you shouldn't
Yeah.
be like Trump and tell the union workers to just, like, spend less money on your I don't that's not appropriate.
No. So I just saw a post on Instagram about secondhand stores this time of the year and how much stuff there is for kids who only wore a onesie literally one time and just what great deals are there. And that's something that I didn't think about and for sure want to go see what is there.
Yeah, those, like, Habitat for Humanity restores, the Listen Centers, like, they're so great. You can find such amazing deals, toys, little tables, anything. Clothes. Well, should we talk about our holiday hot takes?
Yes.
Exciting.
Yes. I'd love to.
Like, we're gonna talk a little bit about, like, traditions that we grew up with versus the ones that we're creating. I'm curious, like, what did you all do growing up? And, like, are there things that you're bringing into your holiday traditions with Shy? And are there new things that you're doing?
Hanukkah is a very interesting holiday for the Jewish people because it's not that significant in terms of religion, and honestly, it is built up because really it is around Christmas time. Like, there wasn't something that was equal to Christmas to be celebrated, and so Hanukkah kind of became this more celebrated day, and so I feel like some people just don't do anything at all, and they pay more attention to our more important, quote, unquote, "important" holidays like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Passover, and those we'll talk about another time when they come up, but, I still love lighting the menorah. We always lit the menorah as a family in our front room and made latkes, the, like, potato pancakes, and watch I remember watching Rugrats Hanukkah. Rugrats had some great episodes, on the, like, orange VHS tape, and it was just, so special to all kinda gather around and open. We usually did do, a present a night with the menorah, and so we have a menorah that we got for our wedding that every other person that year who got married had on their registry. So we all have matching menorahs, whether we wanted it or not.
I bet we have some listeners with that the same menorah.
Oh my god. Yeah, 100%. Shoot, I can't remember the name, but if you know it, you know it. It's the silver one with leaves. Um, and so I hope we're gonna continue and light the candles with Shy. What about you?
As you know, Tanya, I grew up Catholic, but my dad is Jewish, so we did do a menorah. We lit a menorah, and we did Advent, growing up. So I did both. I definitely think you see all of this on social media too, of like the magic that you create for your families over the holidays. And I think these things can come in very different forms. Maybe it is like the tradition of going to zoo lights, which can feel very like festive and magical. I would say like a when memories that I have growing up are things like going to the Nutcracker with my mom, or like we would always do a Christmas Eve party and invite our neighbors and friends. This now having 2 kids, like, we are definitely creating our own new memories. We started doing Christmas at our house last year for the first time. In years past, we would, like, go to our parents' house, and now we are like, okay, our toddler, 3.5, is old enough where it's like, I just wanna be at home for Christmas, like, to be able to wake up in your own bed because we do Christmas and Santa, and that has been really fun. Like, it was really, really, really fun last year for him to come down, and it was the first year he really like knew who Santa was. And we are really milking it this year. Like we have this thing in our town where the town, and again, very small town. We have like a few thousand people. They called my phone and said they were Santa. And so they were like, my son was like, "Oh my God, who's calling you, Mom?" And I was like, "It's the North Pole. The North Pole is calling me. Like, who's calling me from the North Pole?" And it clearly was like a 35-year-old man on the other line.
That's so sweet.
Who was like, "Ho, ho, ho, like, I've heard you've been good this year, but make sure you continue to be good." So that was really fun. We do have like a Christmas tree lighting here in the town, which was really, really nice. And they do caroling and they light the town Christmas tree. So those types of traditions we've done now for the last few years and have been really fun and aren't really like tied. They're not like tied to a religion per se, but they're more of like, okay, we're going to decorate the Christmas tree and watch a Christmas movie together. So that's all been really fun, honestly, to create it ourselves. And I don't feel pressure or stress about it. It's like the one thing that's de-stressful, like not stressful in my life right now is getting to like do all those things.
Yeah. I think it really just sounds lovely. And I'm curious, okay, so for some holiday hot takes, have you ever done Elf on the Shelf?
Oh yeah. I'm looking at him right now. He's currently sitting at the top of our Christmas tree.
Okay, wait. So which one is there a person designated to put this elf different places? And like,
Great questions.
tell me more about this tiny man on a shelf.
So we never did Elf on the Shelf growing up. I think this happened or this thing was created after I was older. So our elf came to our house last year. You name him. So we named him Neil after Neil from the Santa Claus with the sweaters, the stepdad.
And now you can name him after Neil, my brother-in-law, our number one fan.
Yes. Shout out to Neil. I know a lot of really good Neils. So his name is Neil and he arrived at our house last year. He arrives on December 1st and he moves every night. So he flies back to the North Pole. Now that we have video, you can see me air quoting. He flies back to the North Pole every night to report back to Santa if you have been naughty or nice, you've been listening, you've been behaving. And then he flies back to your house. And so he lands in a different place every night. So everyone does this differently. When my husband was the one that was like, "Oh my God, we have to do Elf on the Shelf." He also just like likes doing funny things like that, like hiding things or leaving notes or like making a mess, or he'll like stack up shit in our bathroom just to annoy me. I'm not actually annoyed by it because I think it's funny and cute and charming, but it's kind of his thing. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to do Neil, like you are the one that has to move him every night. So he moves him every night. The first night of Neil, so the end of November 30th, we woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, "Oh my God, we need to go get Neil." So Dylan had to like go out to the garage and get Neil and put him out. So honestly, it's been really helpful for our son if he's not listening. We'll be like, "Neil is watching you. Like he's listening to everything you're doing and watching you. Like, don't push your sister. He's going to tell Santa." So anyway, yes, we do Elf on the Shelf. There's also Mensch on a Bench. It's like the Jewish version, the like Hanukkah version.
Yeah, haven't dipped into that yet.
Snoop on a Stoop too.
Maybe we'll do that. Have you ever done matching pajamas like the morning of Christmas?
Yes, we did it last year for the first time. We did this growing up sometimes. We're not doing it this year because honestly, I'm like, do I have to buy my daughter another pair of pajamas because she's grown out of the ones from last year? My son still fits in his. Yeah, we've done it. I'm not. That's bottom line. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. No judgment here if you do it. It's fun. You got a cute photo.
Yeah. And then what about gingerbread houses? Because I nannied in college, and the kids that I nannied with had a gingerbread house that I tried to build with them. It was horrible. I like ruined their Christmas because this gingerbread house was just broken into pieces. Like I tried to glue it together with different icings and everything, and it just was not cute. But then again, like places at some hotels have these beautiful gingerbread villages.
People take it so seriously. It's funny that you bring that up. So my parents got divorced when I was in high school, like going into college. And so we had so many traditions that just like stopped happening. And one of the traditions, though, when my dad met his partner now, my stepmom, is we started, and this was like pre-kids, is every Christmas we would all do a gingerbread house, like before Christmas. And it was like a fun activity. But my brother is extremely intense and he's a chef and he's just like really intense about every. And I love my brother. He's just an intense human being. He would like always take it over and it would end up in like a screaming match. Like he just yeah. So anyway, we have been doing it. We're doing it this year because my family's coming to visit me, my whole family, my dad's side of the family. So my stepmom is like getting all the materials and we're all going to do it.
That's so fun.
We did it the last few years with my son too, but I cheated and I got the kits from Target. So I didn't actually have to like make the gingerbread house.
I like didn't even think that it could be made from scratch, which is so dumb. But obviously, gingerbread houses didn't just start in kids. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay. I am curious your thoughts on a few things from Hanukkah. The first is dreidel. Do you play dreidel? What does that look like? Did you have a tradition growing up? And like, do you do that now? Do you do it with like the gold, like chocolate coins?
Yeah, so love dreidel. Haven't like had a real good game of dreidel in a long time. Like we would play with pennies when I was growing up. The dreidel has four sides with four different Hebrew letters. It stands for miracle happened there, and each one represents a different amount of coins that you get, or like some you have to give back. And so depending on what it lands on, you take from the middle. So yeah, it is fun for gambling. It's it is a child's first gambling experience, but it's a lot of fun. It's very low stress. Appreciate that about dreidel, and people decorate beautiful ones. That's something that is fun and festive that you can do with your Jewish children. But other than that, like, haven't played dreidel in a really long time. We have so many laying around, though. I feel like every house just has, like, a couple drawers with dreidels in them for some reason, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, there's a dreidel." Like,
There's the dreidel drawer.
yeah.
What about, gosh, I haven't had latkes in a long time, but I loved my mom growing up would always make latkes and with applesauce. You guys do that, I'm sure.
They're so good. Latkes are amazing.
They're so good.
Yeah, and they, Call Your Mother has amazing latkes year round. I don't know if you've been
Is this the
since it came
babe?
to Colorado. It's
Yes.
in DC too. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, I forgot that they opened one in it's in Denver, right?
They have at least 2 in Denver, and it's great because then latkes, it's frying potatoes, and so, like, it sticks in everything, like, the smell does, and you just feel so gross after making them. That being said, I've never made them, but I can
Who makes them? Do you buy them or do you
my mom's made them, so thanks, mom. They're delicious, and now we actually bake them. It's the healthier version. They're great.
That sounds so good. And then we have not done a menorah. I haven't done one since I was really little, but you talked about your silver menorah with the leaves on it. I'm sure, is it scary with pets? And now I know Shy isn't like walking and can't like touch it, right? But what do you do with like Wally and your cat? Is that scary to just like leave it going?
We never leave it going without watching it. We'll have it, like, on our stove if we're out and doing something around, like, the house or the kitchen, but we've never left it going because I just think that both of our anxieties could not handle it. I think that traditionally you're supposed to let the candles go out on their own, but and so they're small, most of the time they do, but cannot leave them unattended.
Yeah.
This is a long story, but once I burned had to leave my apartment because of a fire that I started, and so
Because of a menorah?
no, I was making matzo ball soup, though, so it was Jewish holiday related.
Oh, matzo ball soup. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is another oh gosh, I love matzo ball soup. Anyway, unrelated, but yes.
Anyways, fires around Jewish holidays give me a particular amount of anxiety. So, no, we will not be leaving our menorah unattended.
Well, that was fun for hot takes. Do you have any other ones you want to leave with our listeners?
I don't think so. I think that just like everything else, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, if you don't celebrate anything, if you do celebrate everything or something in between, like we're all just trying to do our best. And some moments are going to be magical and others are not. And like, I'm sure that
Yes.
looking back, my parents were probably really stressed about everything. And when I look back, I see it as like this really beautiful glow and like really warm nights and nice memories. And so I think that like they want to see the magic in things a lot of the time. And so they're easy to impress, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I was talking to my therapist about this. Thank you. Shout out to my therapist for kind of like validating how I feel, where like you go on Instagram and you see all this like really outlandish things. Like there is no, and people say, oh, moms get so burnt out from the holidays and you're juggling a million things. And that's true. There's a lot of things to juggle. But for me, it's very much like kids. To your point, like they're easy to please. The magic is there, right? Like take them to zoo lights. I know I've talked about zoo lights, but like drive around your town. Literally, I drive my toddler down our street and he loves the lights. Like that is a memory, a core memory I'm sure he'll have. Like don't stress too much. Like I know it's easier said than done, but I'm hosting 10 people at our house for Christmas for a whole week. And I guess I should be more stressed out than I am. I already have like an agenda. I sent them the agenda that I designed in Canva. I have menus, like, but that is really fun for me. Like, it wasn't stressful. Maybe that's just because that's kind of the person that I am, that I liked writing an agenda. I liked designing it in Canva. But if you're a parent and you are so stressed out right now, like just take a breath. Tanya's so right. Like our kids don't remember the stress and you won't be able to remember it.
Yeah.
You're doing great. And if you don't have all the perfect things for your kids or your family, you burn your latkes, you forget your stocking stuff, like it's fine. Your kids won't remember that.
Yeah. They'll be happy spending time with you. And if you're not able to spend time together, like kids understand too. I think that it's something where, yeah. So holiday joy shouldn't require any sort of project management. It shouldn't require you to have a certificate in decorating or taking the most magical vacation in the entire world or anything like that. I think that you make it work and you make it work on the day that you make it work. I think that that's important too, that there's flexibility on these dates. There are a lot of people that do work Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, any of those days. And it's important that like it's not limited to those days themselves.
Yeah. So we hope everyone has an amazing holiday. We will have an episode coming out on the 30th. It will be an interview. We're so excited. We're interviewing Dr. Megan Pryor, who's a pediatrician. She runs the Itty Bitty Revolution Instagram account. So we're going to have some Momarchy content for you guys to listen to if you're taking some time off of work and have time to tune in. But we're so grateful for you in this year. We can't wait for what 2026 has to offer. We are now locked in for another year. So you get another year of Momarchy, which is unbelievable and exciting and scary all at the same time. So happy holidays and happy new year.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Be sure to subscribe, follow us at Momarchy Podcast Review, and may your mental load be light and your childcare be abundant.
Yeah, or lack thereof. But that's okay. And subscribe to our YouTube if you're watching already. Welcome to the hallway.
Yeah, welcome. Hi.
Okay. Bye everyone.
Bye.